Alright folks, as requested, I am working on a Hoover. I think I was requested a couple weeks ago to work on a Hoover. It has taken that long since I've gotten a Hoover in that was worth repairing to do a video on. Usually Hoovers are dead by the time I see them. Or under warranty and just getting a whole replacement, which they're not doing as often these days. So I have here a Hoover Tempo, and this is a piece of shit, or so we thought. It actually turned out to be one of the better vacuums, and it's better than most of the vacuums that are sold at Walmart today. So kind of a cool thing about the Hoover Tempo. It's a stripped down Maytag wind series kind of wind tunnel. The switch has been located here. It's got a short cord. It's got a really short high mounted hose. It cleans all right. Or just all right, you know. It's nothing special. It's a Hoover. The Hoover rep used to joke that he sold the meat and potatoes of vacuums, and that it was nothing special. And if somebody wanted something special, they could buy a Miele or a Recar, were the examples he used at the time. Surprisingly enough, he is now the Maytag rep for simplicity. So a big shout out to Clay. Anyways, so a couple things we're going to see. A lot of dust in the bag compartment, and this isn't because they've been using the wrong bag. Well, we've been using a cheap generic bag, but it's because these bags have no gasket on it. When they came out with this bag style in 1998, there was no need for a gasket. There's no HEPA filter. There is this thing, which should only catch motor carbons, but catches a lot of stuff. And there is this thing. That's it. So we're going to replace those, of course. The other thing that has happened is Hoover keeps getting bought and sold, and now the company who owns them, TTI, who's owned them for a pretty long time now, actually, like 3, 4, maybe 5 years. However long they've owned them, they're now Royal, Dirt Devil, and Vax. So this product is finally discontinued under the Hoover name, though there are still, you can still find old stock on Amazon and stuff. So this is a pretty old-fashioned vacuum compared to the standards. It has a rubber belt that must be changed every 1 to 3 months, or this happens and then you go to put a new one on, and you can see, I might need to illuminate the way, but you can see in here that's melted on the shaft. So if you put a new rubber belt on, it's just going to melt that to it, and it's going to go thump, 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 and break right away. And then it comes and sees me, because customers just aren't going to figure that out. Couple things. The brush roller, this is a polymer composite brush roller, and I have no problem with this being plastic. The problem with these brush rollers is they recycled the old bearings from Hoover's maybe 20 or 30 years before this was made, and these are open cartridge bearings. They're exposed. You can see so much of a gap through that, it's ridiculous. I thought, well, first time I saw these, I thought that was ridiculous, and you can see the openness and all that. So those have a grease gun with a specific grease zerk for putting grease in those that I do not have at this store. I had it at past stores. So it used to be when I was in high school, we would go and we would grease each brush roller that came in, and it would end up working like new, sometimes just replace the ends. Well, now the brushes have worn on this brush roller and this brush roller's, it's just alright. I could clean it up, but it's really not worth it. So thankfully, TTI struck a deal with, that's right, CWP, who makes Kirby's brush rollers and Orc brush rollers. Oddly enough, they own Orc now. So this has nice sealed cartridge bearings with like a double lint seal. Like, this is a nice brush roller. This is similar to the brush roller Recar puts in their $300 vacuum. This is similar to an Orc brush roller. This is similar to a Kirby brush roller. Kirby brush rollers are a little bit finer tuned, but it has balancing marks. it's a decent brush roller. So they've updated that. They got a better brush roller now. But again, you're changing this every 2 to 4 years. So just something to think about with brush rollers. So that being said, we're not talking a lot of money in maintenance. So this is what they call the wind tunnel technology. And this is just like an extra tray that diverts air, kind of evenly diverts air into here. I've never thought that it really made anything better. Making the thick tray in a circular is a big deal, but sucking air from here and here doesn't really do much. But that's the explanation of wind tunnel technology in case you ever wondered about that. What I do love about this is the ease of which I'm going to service this. Me talking about this is probably going to make the service twice as long as if I was just to shut up and do this, but I gotta entertain myself. I'm all alone. I gotta talk to somebody. I might as well talk to the camera. Sharp edges. So we're just gonna clean up little stuff there is. And if my voice ever sounds stuffy or something on camera, it's because where I work is extremely dusty, and you know, I can only wear a dust mask for so many hours a day. Kind of just the biggest health hazard of my job. Which our company doesn't have health insurance. Fun fact. Alright, so we have the base tray, which so there should be like little rubber things that stick out the side here, but again, this being a entry-level machine, they cut corners somehow by doing that. There's still a rubber thing there, so probably cost about the same to make. But, you know, they had to make this a different vacuum. Alright, so other than those plastic feelers, there's not actually a lot that would make this different than the vacuum they were trying to sell for 2.5 times as much. They had different widths that were available, though I think this width is probably one of the better widths to go with. Genuine Hoover belt. And that's really about it. And fast forward to 2017. Product discontinued. Royal, their premium brand, now buy this machine for about $300, maybe a little less, maybe a little more depending on your store. Oh, the Royal name on it. So I guess in 2017's money, that $90 vacuum is now $300. Anyways, we're going to turn this on. We're going to clean that rubber I showed you off all of that, because this is one of the reasons why rubber belts are pretty much gone from the industry. I'm glad to see them go, because they're unnecessary and they're kind of stupid. We've had the ability to have serpentine belts on things for 40 years, but just now are we doing that. Maybe even longer than 40 years. Alright, so we got genuine Hoover belt on there. There's not any play in the brush roller, it's kind of a cool thing. Alright. Off camera, I washed the base tray. It looks like the customer brought it in without one of their metal parts. You have suction slightly off center. You don't get a lot of suction on this side. Not a lot of air passes through this side. It's not like some of the other vacuums that look similar that actually have the air passing through the belt. So it does have kind of an uneven cleaning path, but again, this was a budget vacuum. going to go blow the rest of this out. Alright, we're going to go on a little bit of a side rant now that I've blown this out, cleaned this out. This machine, like most Hoover bagged uprights, takes a Hoover Y bag. Now at some point between replacement bags and people being ignorant, a Hoover Y bag, which I have here, just set that down, that's a Hoover Y bag, gets often mixed up and grouped together with the Hoover Z bag. Hoover Y, Z, a little bit of a difference there. But there is also a difference in how these bags work. A Hoover Y bag is for a bypass machine. I mean, stuff is meant to go in here and suck through with a bypass motor. A Z bag is meant for a direct air machine, just like the Hoover A bag, which people, again, way too big, try to stuff in there. And the Hoover A bag is huge in comparison to a small Y bag. There are a lot of reasons they went with a smaller bag. Primarily they're trying to save weight. They were also trying to get a little bit more money out of the customer. Anyways, the Y bag's been around for over 20 years. So, but people like to shove these in. The other thing is a Hoover A bag by default is a 1-layer bag. Hoover Z bag can be 1 layer or 2 layer. Hoover Y bag is always a 2 or 3 layer HEPA bag. In this case it's a paper micro line, but there is a HEPA and a charcoal version available. So that's Hoover bags as well explained. Do not put these in this. So that's my rant on Hoover vacuum bags. Always put the right bag for your Hoover in your Hoover and don't mix them up. If you do mix them up, well, you'll come see me. So we're going to do that. New one of those. And then the trip to putting these bags in properly. This can apply for Panasonic or Recar, Simplicity, several other vacuums. I am going to try and get some more dust out. So when you get one of these bags, real old school, hold it, stick your finger, make sure these are going all 4 ways evenly. You're going to push it on like that, and we're going to tuck it in. Not the easiest bag to change in the world. Not the hardest by far, but just a little tip in putting this in. Right, yeah. The other thing to note with this machine is that your bag check indicator probably isn't going to work at high altitude ever. There's no adjustment. There's not even a way of opening it up and cutting the spring. So if you have one of these, you'll just have to deal with that. So you do have height adjustment on this machine. So we're going to fire her up. Find the plug. Hold 19 feet of cord here. So it's working. So just for fun, we're going to measure it. First, we're going to measure air coming through bags. So give you an idea, 1-layer paper bag. It's just catching the dirt. But again, a microline bag, we'll do it on opening here. Again, cleaning a lot better. So that's what's in here. That's what it should blow. Now let me show you the actual dirt that's going to come out of this machine. Well, that's what came out of this machine. So it is not too effective in trapping dirt. At least not by today's standards. But again, this is an $89 vacuum, or was an $89 vacuum slash now $300 vacuum. Comment below if you think I should be particle testing more machines. And then we're going to just clean this up and send it to the customer. As always, please like, subscribe, and comment below.